I pick it up, will that make it better? I don't know. I kind of want to hold the mic in my hand. So I'm going to just like hold it in my hand and I'm going to just leave everything alone. If you see anything in the background, just mind your business. I feel like there's nothing wrong with my background, but like there's like a towel back there. Just ignore it, okay? But hi guys, welcome back to my podcast, Ananda. I'm your host, Ananda Cash, and today I'm clearly in a better mood than from my last episode where I was posting about my crisis about life. We're still in that crisis though. Don't get it twisted, babes. We're still in it. Yeah. But we're in a better mood about it. I'm just trying to live my life. I think I just got the after the fall blues. People call it something else, but I'll say it's the fall blues. But yeah, so we're just gonna be living life, and I did not take my inhaler before this, and my chest is already starting to hurt. Can I make this episode without having my inhaler? Let's see. I was gonna take it before, and I feel like ever since my injury, I've been making it like a personality trait about my inhaler. I just feel like it's funny that I have to take one every now and then, only when the chest pain is bad. But it's like, you know, I feel like I don't want to make it my personality, but at the same time, it's like I have to take an inhaler. I think it's the funniest thing to me because I don't have asthma. So, like, you would think that people with asthma would only be the ones that have to take inhalers, but I'm having to take an inhaler because I pulled my chest muscle doing laundry. Like, I don't know what's more humbling than that. I mean, definitely I've probably been humbled worse than that. But, like, this year, that was the most humbling experience. I literally pulled a chest muscle by doing laundry. Like, can we just let that sit in our brains for a second? And then 2 days later, I got a kidney infection. I'm still not over that. I'm not gonna lie. That happened like a month ago, and I'm still not over it because clearly it's still affecting me to this day. But we're thriving, right? Right? Anyway, so hi guys. Going on to today's topic of the video, episode, whatever. I'm not gonna lie, I might have to take that inhaler. It's like right at my reach. It's like on my dresser, at the end of my dresser. I'm gonna get it. Because you're gonna be able to hear me, but not see me. But that's okay, because podcast is all about audio anyway, even though those are my other pills. That sounded bad. That's like other painkillers I had when I had my wisdom tooth taken out, and then I had to take that freaking painkillers that literally made me I was so dizzy that day, those 2 days I took it, and my mind was not in a good place, and it was really bad. I felt like a walking corpse. It was so bad, but we're doing better. We're thriving. Okay, inhaler time. Second pump. A bad part of me wishes that like the inhaler had like smoke that came out of it, so I could be like, oh, I'm smoking. Just to be funny. Like, not even because I like to smoke. I've never smoked anything in my life. But I just thought it'd be, well, that's a lie. I've never I think it would be funny. Like, it would be a fun gag. But anyway, whatever. We're going to go into today's topic. So, today's topic is going to be about the show The Kardashians, but not keeping up with the Kardashians, because I actually only watched, I feel like, one episode of that show, and that was because I was at my friend's house, and like we were watching it because we were both bored, and she had it on TV, so we just watched it together. That was literally it. That was the only time I've watched a show. But other times I've known about them. Like, I obviously know who the Kardashians are and like their lore, you know. But I never watched a show like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, because I was like going to, but then I just never did. But now that it's on Hulu, I was like, with the fourth season coming out, with the whole beef between Kourtney and Kim, I was like very intrigued to see why they were beefing so bad. I'm like, why are they beefing? So I wanted to know why. So in order to know why, I knew I had to watch it from the beginning, from the first season. So a few days ago, I watched season 1, and I was watching it because I just wanted to know. I was not planning on making commentary about this show because I'm just going to watch it. And then I watched the first episode, and by the end of it, I was like, I had to make a video out of this because, first of all, I was like, the show was comedic. This is one of the funniest reality shows I've ever watched, but be fair, the only other reality show that I watch is the D'Amelio show. That's literally it. And the reason why is because I actually don't like reality TV. And, well, to be a little bit judgmental, I find it's obviously to say it's trash TV, it's tacky TV. And I kind of agree just because of the simple fact of, as a film student, I feel like when it comes to cinema, cinematography, and art, reality TV does not hit that at all because it's scripted TV. It's supposed to be about your life, but it's clearly scripted at some point, and it's just like so like forced and inorganic and just vague and blah. Like the first 2 minutes of the show, of the first episode, I was like, why is the intro 2 minutes long? One. Two, when they had the freeze frame, at first I was like, oh, the shots that they're doing is kind of cool, but then the freeze frames of each person, I was like, the Kardashians are like millions and millions of dollars in a net worth. Hulu has like billions of dollars. Y'all couldn't spend a little bit more time to make them freeze frames clear? Like why it looks like someone took the photo on a digital camera from the 1970s. That's scary. Like, babes, the quality could be a little bit better. I was being judgmental, I will admit. These were the things that were roaming in my head. So I will admit they're a bit judgmental because I was like, I almost stopped watching at this point because I literally was like, this is cringe. I'm embarrassed that I'm watching this show, and like I don't want no one knowing that like I'm watching. It's like I feel like guilty. Like I feel like it's like a guilty pleasure watching this show. I was like, I'm embarrassed. This is embarrassing. I want to take this off and never watch the show again. So I was like, I'm ready to just throw in the towel. I can't. But then I just kept watching. I was like, let me just continue watching it. So I kept watching, and then I think like once we got like a little bit more into it, I was like, okay, this show's like I think the thing about reality shows is that what I hate is the inorganic conversations. And in the D'Amelio show, it's really the same situation. Like they'll come into a room, they'll say, hi, how are you? And they go right into what the topic is of that part. Like, oh, like if there's drama, so what about so-and-so? What are your thoughts on that? Like the way how no one talks like that, I'm shaking the mic, I'm so sorry. The way how no one talks like that, I'm like, ew, it's just so inorganic and cringe to me. Like it's the inorganic conversations that reality TV shows have and force the people to like they're on screen to have. It's just so ugly to me and just like nasty. And I get it, the producers want them to give out the juiciest pieces so that way they can have some drama for the show to make it interesting for people to watch. I get it. That doesn't mean I like it. I just find it so like gross and icky and nasty. And I'm trying to think, okay, so like it's a reality TV show. How can you make it interesting while it's being organic? And I feel like there was like one episode I was watching in like the second season that like I was like, okay, that seemed like a genuine conversation and it was fine. And it wasn't that bad. Like I'm like, that's a way how to talk about drama organically in a way, basically. So yeah, so I was just like, this is just so inorganic and gross and disgusting. And I was just like, ew, like, oh, like this is so cringe to me. I just didn't enjoy it. I was very much like ew and boring and boo. Like that's why I don't like watching reality TV shows. Another reason why is because I feel bad when there's drama in the show and the drama's interesting to watch. But then the thing about reality TV is that even though it's scripted to a certain degree, I feel like these are people. At the end of the day, these are real people. So the drama that happens in the show happened to them in real life. So like if like someone's like family member died or someone got into a car crash or someone like missed something that was really important to them and they're crying about it, that's not just like, okay, end scene, and then they could wipe the tears away like as if nothing happened, like they were an actor in a role. No, this is their life. So like whatever, like we'll get into it, but like the drama that happens in this show, when you watch it, is interesting because you're like, oh my gosh, what's happening, what's coming next? But then you stop to think about it, it's like, this actually happened to them. Like at the end of the day, that actually happened to them. So like with shows and like TV shows and media, like movies and TV shows, the drama that happens is what keeps the audience watching. But the thing about it is that it's fictional, so it didn't happen. Except for documentaries. Documentaries is a whole different the debacle that we're not going to get into. Documentaries is different because it actually happened. But it's just like, I need to slow down my talk. Like I'm like speeding. But yeah, so it's just like, it's just it makes me uncomfortable when I sit back and realize that this drama that's happening in the show happened in real life. It makes me really uncomfortable. It makes me feel bad for the people because it's just like you actually had to go through this. Like this is like real life. Like it's not just pretending. Like this is not a scene and you had to like act it out real good. Like this actually happened to you. Then I feel bad. So it's just like then it makes me uncomfortable watching them go through stuff like this. I'm just like, ugh. Awkward. Like when you see someone crying on a camera, when in reality TVs, like they're actually crying, like and then imagine being the camera person watching someone cry, bawling their eyes out because they just went through a traumatic event, and you have to sit there and just be like, yeah, can I get a close up of this shot? Oh yeah, like let's get the low angle, let's get the Dutch angle, let's do the bird's eye view. Like imagine. And sometimes even in their like confessions, the producer sometimes would be like, so talk about your boyfriend. Talk about this guy you won't tell us about. Oh, so like when Kim was like after like the breakup with Kanye and then like she was dating P. Oh, so who's the guy you're talking to? Oh, was that P? Oh, who are you talking to? Oh, so who's the new boyfriend? And I'm like, girl, she's clearly not talking about it for a reason. Mind your business. And I get it, that's her job. It doesn't mean that I like it. Just because I get it's her job, doesn't mean I like it. But it's just like these people are so invasive, but like this is what they sign up for, but also at the same time it's like this is what reality TV is. So like that aspect of it, when you look into it, I feel uncomfortable. That's why I never watched any reality TV shows. But then I finally just caved and I was like, you know what, whatever, let me just see what the hype is about. But mainly because I was like, why are they beefing so bad? Because like you would have thought that like they had like I seen the clips of the episode when they fought, and I was like, oh. But then I thought like after like an episode 2 they'd be fine. But no, they're like still legit beefing, and I was like, okay, this must be really bad for them to be like awkward just to be in the same room with each other and they're sisters. I'm like, that's deep. That's some deep issues that like I'm like, okay, what happened? Because why is it that bad? So it was more like of a concern, like not like, ooh, let me see the drama. It was more like, what happened? Like I'm like so shocked. I was like, what happened for them to be that angry at each other? Like, oh my gosh. So that's why I started watching the show. So now that I did that wind of an introduction of the whole show and concept of why I want to watch the show and all that, now let's get into the topic, the title of this episode, which is called Men Being the Demise of Women in Kardashians. And I am going to have this whole probably hour-long rant about, I don't know his last name, and I probably should look it up, but Scott, Kourtney's ex, Scott. Okay, I don't want to say I despise him because that's kind of mean. In the show, in the first season, I'm only talking about the first season because this is why I wanted to make the video. So I'm only talking about his actions in the first season. Now, one of my friends told me that he doesn't get better after the first season. So I was like, oh. But like the second season, he's in like 1 or 2 episodes. And the one episode, he was in like 1 clip. And he was tame. He was fine. He was cool. I was like, all right, he's a human in this one. He's fine. Because the first season... Like at first I was gonna make this episode about both Scott and Tristan, but I had too much to say about Scott alone. I was like, I need to make a separate video for Tristan. But Tristan too is just, I'm just shocked. The way how that man put Khloe through the ringer, it's just so disgusting. And it's just like, how can you be a human? How can you be a person? Like, don't you have a mother? Like whenever, especially when it comes to black men, I have an extra vendetta against y'all because how you gonna mistreat women? Well, okay, no. Actually, I take it back. If Khloe, this is gonna sound really bad, but I'm gonna say it. If Khloe was black, I would have been extra pissed because it's because of it being so common for black men to mistreat black women. Like they have an extra vendetta against black women. I would have been extra pissed. But because Khloe's not black, I was still pissed off. But I feel like it would have been another level of here we go again. But this is just a concept of like men mistreating women. But like it's just like, it's crazy how this, like, it's worse when it's a black person because like when you're a black person watching other black people misbehave and just act a fool and act dumb, you're like, bro, you making us look bad. That's the thing. It's like the representation behind it. So I'm like, you a black man out here in their world acting like that. You are the only black one on the screen more than, and like, yes, Khloe has a black friend, but like, I mean, I'm assuming she's black. Maybe she's not. I have no idea. Actually, if she's not, then my bad. But like, you are the main, like, you low-key the main character in their world, and you acting like that. Like, come on, man. You making us look real bad. You making black people look real bad. Even though, like I said, Chloe has like her best friend is pretty good. Not pretty good. That sounded really bad. I'm not trying to say that she's one of the good ones. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like her best friend is like her best friend. Like she's nice to her. She treats her like a good person. So that's good. But like the partners, it's just ridiculous. But anyway, we're gonna talk about Scott. So first, we're going to talk about the first few minutes of Scott being on screen and just him being a sad case. Now, in the first episode, Scott admits he's been lonely since they... Hello, I can't read. Hold on. In the first episode, Scott admits he's been lonely since they took a 2-year break. So the first few minutes of the episode, they each ask them, oh, how does it feel now that you're back from taking like your break? And everyone talks about how good it was to be away from the cameras and just focus on their family and their businesses and to get their life, under control and just to live their lives off camera. Except for Scott. Scott's the only one that was like, it's actually been kind of lonely and I've actually been kind of sad that we're gone. And I was like, dang. And then also because the first time they introduced Scott, they're talking about Scott, how sad he is that like when the 2-year break was gone, he was lonely with the cameras gone, and about his like, current situation with Courtney and how they're civil, but now she's in a new relationship and how it's affecting him. So like and the way how they talk about him and Courtney, you would think they were broken up for like a 6 months to a year or two, if that much. You would have thought the breakup was so recent, like less than 2 years. And then when Courtney at one point was like, we've been broken up for 7 years. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. And because I haven't watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians, I didn't know that. Like I know they were running that show for like years. I didn't know they were broken up for 7 years. And this man, you would have thought they just broke up. And that's why he's so down bad. Because they're like, oh, he's still in love with Courtney. And I was just like, so you mean to sit here and tell me this man was still in love with her for 7 years and couldn't find any way to get back together with her? He couldn't get his act together to get back together with her after they were together for 10 years? So when they were talking about how sad he is, how he's still in love with Courtney, I was like, am I supposed to feel bad for him? Am I supposed to play the violin for this man? Because I'm hearing crickets. I was like, well, you must have did something wrong. You did something bad. And again, I'm saying this without knowing what happened in the first show. I don't know their lore. I just know that it was bad enough to where she broke up with him and is no longer dealing with him. Like I knew it was bad. And she does mention that it was like a toxic relationship for her and how she's finally happy with Travis. And seeing her and Travis happy, I'm just like, Courtney, you deserve all the love and care in the world because you deserve peace. You deserve peace and love. I love you, Courtney. Like, I'm so happy that she's happy. Like, the first season, I was like, I'm so happy she's happy because, girl, like I said, I don't know what Scott put her through. I just knew it was a bad relationship, but I didn't know to what degree. And then, mind you, they all know. They all know how bad it was. So let's just keep that in mind. Anyway, so I'm like, I feel bad for him that like he was lonely with the cameras gone, but then it made me wonder, so what does he do? Like I know he has 2 kids, or he has kids, like they have kids together. So like, what are you doing? What were you doing in the 2 years? Like what? Like, I'm sorry, what was going on in your life that was so sad to where you couldn't get it together? Not to say you're supposed to bounce back, because again, I don't know what he went through. I don't know what his life was like. So that's why I was just like, what's his situation? Like, what's his story? Like, why is he so sad? And like, you see him and you're like, you thought he just got out of rehab, recovering and is struggling. Like, you would have thought he was in like the stage of recovery where he was trying to apologize for all his sins. Like, I was like, what happened? Like, what's his story? Again, because I had no idea. And you're probably like, why didn't you just look it up? I didn't want to, because I didn't care that much to look it up. I just was like curious, but not that curious. So that answers your question. Anyway, so, so then also after that, then Chloe's mentioning like also with Chloe and Scott's relationship, she's like, oh, like we're practically like best friends. Like, we used to argue a lot, but then now we're like pretty cool and we're civil and we get along really well and blah, blah, blah. And then that's also when he admits that like how he's still like, everyone's like, everyone knows that he's still in love with Courtney. Like it's obvious to everyone. And then also how like in his confessional he admits that he was lonely with the cameras gone, and also how like he realized that he mistreated Courtney and how he's happy to see her happy with Travis, blah 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 blah. So then yeah, so then the second point that I was going to say is his relationship with Courtney is good, but he knows they won't get back together. Like, I think he, like, still had, like, deep down, he still had, like, the hope and the dream that, like, maybe one day they'll get back together. But then he kind of, like, knows that, like, I don't think it's going to happen, but I can still hope and dream that it may happen. But then it doesn't, because she's with Travis now. Good for her. And then the co-parenting. And at one point he mentions how, like, they're, like, best friends, which I kind of find it hard to believe because, like, I find it hard to believe that. But not to say that he's lying, but it's just like, it's just weird. Like, if that's how you treat a best friend, that's weird. But anyway, but he was like, you know, like, now they're best friends, like, they're really close to each other, blah, blah. And then, he also, like I said, he also says that he was aware of how badly he treated Courtney and how, like, that's why, you know, the relationship wasn't good anymore. And, like, you know, he's happy that someone else can make her happy the way that he couldn't do it. So this is, like, the first episode, right? Right. So then we get into the annoying stages of him. So first, next point is Scott's red flags. So after, like, when he talks about the sadness and him missing Courtney, still being in love with her, blah, blah, that's when I'm like, I don't feel bad for him, but he just looks like a sad case to me. And I'm like, how are they trying to portray him? Like, what is the goal of this narrative? Like, what's the narrative? What's the story they're trying to say? Then the first red flag that I noticed about Scott was his dating history, in the sense of his, and I would say this was to me his dating morals. Because in the episode, I think this was the first or second episode, which says enough. The fact that this is in the beginning of the season says a lot about the rest of Scott's narrative throughout the entire season. So, the first two episodes, or second episode, he's talking to Chloe about, you know, his dating life. And they're like, oh, so they're talking about the age of people that he would date. And he's talking about, you know, I would like to date someone in, like, their early 20s or whatever. And Chloe's like, at least 21, right? He was like 20s, and she's like 21, maybe? She's like trying to push it, like, maybe let's go like minimum drinking age, you know, perhaps. I'm actually going to look up right now. You're going to see live in action, me see how old Scott is, because I still don't know. And I know he dated Courtney, and I don't know how Courtney is actually either. That's a good thing for me to look up. How old is Scott? I don't know his last name. Scott Pilgrim. Disick? That's not his name. Disick? This man is 40 years old. 4 decades. That man is 40 years old. And he was talking about he would date someone at least 20. That makes me sick to my... The thing is, I knew when I found out his age that would make it worse. Because I was being hopeful and thinking he's like at least like 35. Again, I don't know how old Courtney is, but now looking at it, it says she's 44. They were only 4 years apart. That's not bad. Scotty boy. Hey, hi, hello. I highly doubt you're watching this, but if you are, let's have a chat. Why are you dating? Because I know, like, I remember the time when I heard about him dating Sophia Richie. I'm so sorry, girl. She's now 25. I'm gonna cry. I don't know when they dated. It was like years ago, but he dated Sophia Richie, I think when she was like 19, 20. And that was how many? She's 25 now. So that was like 6 years ago. No, is that math? I'm gonna say 6 years ago. Let's say 6 years ago. Let's look up Sophia Richie. I'm gonna look her up right now. She's a media personality. Oh, she's an influencer? Oh, that's interesting. I had no idea. When she dated Scott, she was 19 years old. That is the thing that grosses me out about Sophia's age, because she's 25. I'm 24. And that was 6 years ago. So he was 34, dating a 19-year-old. That's so gross. I could cry. That is so nasty. Oh, I'm so glad they're not dating anymore because... Oh, she's married. She just got married this year. Good for her. Good for you, Sophia. Please tell me this man is of age. 29. Okay, that's not that bad. You're 25. That's not bad. That's only 4 years. Happy for you. You deserve someone that's around your age, not a senior citizen. Oh my gosh, Scott. This was the first red flag. You can see my genuine reaction, my genuine disgust. This is the concept with older men dating younger women is so disgusting to me for several reasons. But it's just so disgusting seeing people like date. Now here's my thing. Have I ever had a crush on an older guy? Yes. I legit had two obsessions. Well, no, one was an obsession. One was an admiration, I would like to say, of celebrities. I will admit. Did I have not really a crush? No, it was a crush. Let's be real. It was a crush. Did I have a crush on John Krasinski when that man was? I knew he was 40 years old, and I was like in my early 20s at the time. No, I was like, I have no idea when I started watching The Office, but I think it was like after my second time watching it. Because the first time I watched The Office, this is a tangent. The first time I watched The Office, I loved the show. I fell in love with it. I had no idea that Jim's character was meant to be like the hot guy. He was supposed to be the hot one in The Office. So when I heard, there's episodes that mentioned it too, and I was like, oh, he's supposed to be the hot one? Not saying that he's ugly. I'm not saying John Krasinski's ugly. No way am I saying that. But I just didn't think he was attractive. I didn't find him attractive. Then when I watched the show the second time, I was like, oh wait, yeah, I kind of get it. And then after that, it was a downfall. It was a downfall. And then the second time when I finished watching the show, I was like, okay, yeah, he's a hottie. I'm slowly a little bit of a fangirl. Well, and then I did look up his his filmography, seeing other things he did, and then found that he was writing his own movies and watched one of his first movies and watched other movies he was in. I did my search and I found that he was married with 2 kids, and then I was really sad. Then I was like, he's married to Emily Blunt. Who's Emily Blunt? I was like, this is a blessed woman, but also who is Emily Blunt? I generally didn't know who she was until A Quiet Place, which a lot of people might be like, how could you not know her? Girl, I don't know. I just didn't know. She wasn't in any of the stuff that I watched, and maybe if she was, I didn't recognize her. Whatever, moving on. Found that he was married with 2 kids, and I was like, okay, I respect it. He's married. He's also 40, but that wasn't stopping me. The age wasn't stopping me. It was the fact that he was married with 2 kids. I was like, you know what? Do I really want to be a stepmom? No, I don't. I'm glad that he's happy. He's happily married. I was like, they seem happy together. All right, whatever. I guess y'all could be happy together. But then it became an admiration because I really do admire John Krasinski's work. And I still watch everything he's in. I'm like, I'm going to watch it because I love John Krasinski that much. But I would love to, in the future, one day to work on a film with him, for him to direct something I wrote. I would love that so much because genuinely, I admire him as a writer and director so much now. I still think he's attractive. And the last show he was in, Jack Ryan, the first season, there are some scenes in that show where I'm like, oh, okay. But who wouldn't? Who didn't? That's the real question. Who didn't? Anyway, did I have an obsession with Matthew Gray Gubler for a good few months? That was an obsession. That I will admit, I was fully fangirling, fully obsessing about that man. I bought stickers. I watched Criminal Minds, the whole, season 12. Let's not go into it. I literally have a sketchbook that has a bunch of just pictures just of him, like stickers. Because I need to decorate my stickers, and I was decorating my laptop, and like I bought like the office stickers, and then I was like, since I'm buying stickers, I might as well buy stickers of Spencer Reed, and then I bought a bunch of Matthew A. Google stickers, and I was obsessing over him for like a hot minute. And I was like, if I ever find him on the streets, and he is always in the city, and I'm never there. Like, not even like, when, like I could be in my house and someone will see him in Brooklyn or in Manhattan. And I'm like, where are y'all finding this man? And why am I not there? Like, I'm so mad and salty about it every single time. I'm like, I live in the city, born and raised here, and I've never seen him once. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. Like, why? Like, I literally be like, that's not fair. When will it be my time to have happiness? When is it my time to shine? When is it mine? Because why is everyone happy seeing this man? Who's the girl that wrote a fanfic of him and then got to meet him? I forgot her name. It's like Brooke something. She has her own podcast too. I'm blanking on her name. But when I saw her and how she made the whole fangirl thing, and I started watching her podcast, I was like, that was you. That was you. I was so like, clearly I'm so like, I'm like, oh, why can't that be me? Why can't it be me? When will it be my turn? So anyway, the whole point of this is to basically say I can understand being a young woman wanting to date an older man because you find him attractive. Now, Scott is not my cup of tea. I'm not attracted to him in any way, but you live your life, Sophia. That was your attraction at the time, and that's fine. You were the victim. You were a young adult because 19, like, why are you 35 dating a 19-year-old? Anyway, so that was my first red flag of Scott. I was going to keep going over the Matthew thing, but I stopped because my last obsession was Andrew Garfield. Now, am I still obsessed with that man? Not as much. No, I've never ever been obsessed with someone. Actually, that's a lie. I was going to say I've never been obsessed with someone as much as Matthew, but a close second is Dominic Fike. But like, that one's appropriate now because he's 27. So like, if that man ever found, if he, not me stuttering, if I ever had a chance with him, that would be appropriate because we're both in our 20s, so that's fine. And he's like single, and he wants he wants a girlfriend to then be his. He said he wanted a nurse or a doctor, and I was like, I can't be a nurse. I'm not gonna go to school for. I can't understand science, but I'm a writer. I like film. Is that enough? Like, what about a film person? What about a writer? I could write books. I could write a book about you. I don't know. Anyway, we're not going to go down the road because... sigh. I'm not going to go into my commentary about men because I just cannot. Because either I'm like googly-eyed over them or I'm yelling about them. And in this episode, I'm doing both. I'm googly-eyed about... For somehow I still end up talking about him. I feel like I sound obsessed. I'm not. I literally just said I'm almost obsessed with him, like as much as I was with Matthew. You know what? We're gonna move on because now I'm just embarrassing myself. I know I'm not the only one. Whatever. I won't be embarrassed because I feel like this is funny. I'm not trying to be like funny when I say these things. I'm really just speaking. But yeah. Dominic Fike, if you are watching this by any chance, my DMs are open and available. Anyway, back to Scott. The minute I said back to Scott, my demeanor instantly went. I'm like, back to Scott. Anyway, so Scott, that was the first red flag. Him admitting that he would like to date someone in their early 20s, like 20. That means he would date someone my age now at his ripe age of 40. But see, here's my thing. I feel like I'm judging him because it's him. Because if Andrew Garfield came up to me and was like, let's go on a date, I would say yes. One, is Andrew Garfield. Two, he's hot and sexy. Like, yes, I would go out on a date with him. Like, why wouldn't I? But like, he's also 40. You know what I mean? So it's like, You know, girl, you're kind of being judgmental and a hypocrite because if Andrew Garfield was dating a 24-year-old, like someone, I remember someone making a TikTok comment and was like, I need to be like, it was like a edit of Andrew, and someone was like, I need to be his controversially young girlfriend. I was like, I have never related to a comment more in my life than that moment. In that moment, I was like, I replied to that comment. I was like, I have never related to something so. I'm like, me too, girl. Me too. I need to be his controversially young girlfriend. But I don't want to just be a girlfriend and then we break up in like a year. I want to like, you know, we got to make that. If we going to date, we got to make it worth the time. We got to date, marry. Like, we got to be freaking Chris Evans and his girlfriend. Like, he's 42. His girlfriend's 20. Well, his wife now. They're married. His wife is 26. I didn't know she was that young. I didn't know he was that old. I was like, he's 42? Wow. That's just like when everyone found out Joe Kearney was 30. They're like, you're 30? I thought that man was 25. He was like, yeah, I'm 30. I'm like, wow. But that's kind of like me with everyone else. Everyone thinks that I'm like 18 or like a child. You know how many times older adults will literally come up to me, and if I'm in my house and let's say it's for like something for the department that works for our building, and they'll come in and I'll open the door and I'll be like, hi, and they'll be like, oh, you're so cute. Where's your mom and dad? Where's mommy and daddy? I'm like, if you don't get your old senior citizen stuff out of my face, I'm literally 24. Like, oh, not you thinking I'm like 15. I was like, why does Lily look at me? She was like, oh, you're cute. Get this to your mom. Get this to your mommy. And I was like, if you get out of here, well, I'll put you in a nursing home. I was like, I am 24. I know I look young. And here's the thing, I'm not mad about looking young. I'm just so flabbergasted every time someone thinks I'm literally like no one believes me when I tell them I'm 24. No one. I can understand 18 kind of, but even when I was 21, I was working at a summer camp and we were like talking about our age. And then I said I was 21 and they were like, you're 21? You look like you're like 18. I was like, well, I'm 21. So like, I'm flattered. I'm honored because, you know, black don't crack. So I'm honored. But also like, that's like with my parents, like my dad's 52. My mom's pushing 50. They do not look like they're in their 50s. Well, mom is in her 50s. I'd be saying she's 50. She's like, I'm not 50 yet. I mean, yeah, no, you're not, but she literally turns 50 in like less than 2 months. So like, I'm like, you're 50. Like, you're 50. You're 50, babes. Whether you're like, I'm not, you're 50. It's kind of funny because she's actually on vacation right now with my dad and like, other family, for her, like to celebrate early celebration for her 50th birthday. So it's kind of funny that I say that now. She's 50. Anyway, my parents don't look 50. They don't look like they're in their 50s. They look like they're in like their late 40s. Like, they look like they're probably like 45. Like, if you would have told me, like, if like looking at them, you would probably think they're like 45, 46, 44. But like, my mom's 49, my dad's 52. Mom's probably 50. Like, don't make me stop by my parents because they piss me off sometimes because because I was literally just thinking about relationships and just thinking about how my mom they've been together since my mom was 19, my dad was 21, and they're 52 and 50. I'm gonna cry. I'm not gonna get into this whole spiral about me not having love. I'm not gonna do it. Not today. Not today. I can't do that to myself. I've been talking, this has nothing to do with Scott. I just went on a ramble. But yeah, my parents have been together for like 30 years. My mom met the love of her life at 19, and I'm 24. With no one to love. I'm okay. It's okay. Damn, I should have taken that. I'm on one this episode. I'm really on one this episode. But you know, the thing is, this is literally how you would probably think, oh my goodness, like she's acting different. No, babes, this is literally me. I just don't show it. Like, I just don't show this on camera as often. Like, this is how my friends see this. Well, actually they do sometimes, but like, this is literally just me. Like, I would be doing this in the house by myself with no cameras on, having a whole mental breakdown about how I've never been in love. Talking to the wall, talking to the corner, like as if there's a whole friend there. You know what I mean? Back to Scott. Anyway, so yeah, so his whole dating thing, I was like, the fact that, and the what really made me annoyed was his like, he said The reason why he wants to date someone in like at least in their early 20s is because he doesn't want to date women around his age because they will challenge him. And he doesn't want to be challenged. Now, that was the first moment when I felt utter disgust, cringe, and just, that was the minute that I realized that Scott Disick is just like the other men. And it's like when men say they want to date younger women for that exact reason, it's disgusting to me, because you don't want a woman to challenge you, meaning you don't want to meet someone on your level. And that's a common thing for a lot of men to do. Prime example, even in media, Joe Goldberg, he literally met his match. Season 3 with Love, he met his match. Someone that was just as psychopathic as him. And he couldn't handle it, so he had to kill her. To be fair, she was going to kill him. They were going to kill each other. But like, the fact that he met his match, and he was like, I need to get out this relationship. I need my way out of here now. Also, I had no idea that in the 3rd season, you know how like Love, how she cheats on Joe, and the guy that she was with is actually her boyfriend? No clue. I had no idea. I was like, oh my gosh, that man's so cute. And oh my gosh, she's so pretty. And then they're dating. I was like, that's literally disgusting and ill. No, not actually disgusting. I'm actually happy for them. Well, I don't know if they're dating now. I would hope so, because they looked happy together in the pictures. I just saw a video about them dating like days ago. I saw like yesterday, the other day. I was like, they were a couple. And then someone was like, no wonder it looked so good when they were acting those parts, because they were just being themselves. It's kind of like when Tom Holland and Zendaya are playing a couple in the Spider-Man movies. Like, babes, they're just kissing. They're getting paid to make out. Like, they're getting paid to do what they do in private. Like, that's the best contract to have. You know what I mean? That sounded kind of inappropriate. I didn't mean it for it to go that way. I'm gonna move on. Let's connect the dots. Let's reconnect those dots. Scott, him dating borderline minors. Yeah, him talking about him not liking someone to challenge him, because the only women that would challenge you are the women that are around your age and they would know better. They have higher standards because they know to expect more. And a younger woman usually wouldn't know what to expect from an older man. So whatever they could get, they'll be kind of happy about, because they feel like it's better than dating people their age. Because a lot of women, when they date older men, they're like, oh, he's just so much more mature than the boys around my age, blah, 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 which is occasionally true, because the amount of men that are so, like, you know, when I sit here, you will not, like, and boys and the men in my age are crazy. Y'all would like to say that girls are the Lulu. You can say it all you want. You men are scary. Because the way how my friend is having like her little like boy drama, it's not even like, it's like drama but not really drama, it's just chaos. And the way how she was talking to me about her drama as I'm watching the Kardashians, it was just timing. I'm like, the timing of this boy drama is everything, which I feel like that was probably like God showing me that I don't need to be in a relationship right now, because it's like, babes, do you really want to date right now? Look at what's happening. Do you really want this? But look at your friend. Look at her. She's going through case after case of just chaos, and she's still trucking. And you seeing how, you know, I'm like, do you really want to be dating right now, babes? And it's like, you know, you're right, but it's like, I just want a hot boyfriend. Why is that so hard to achieve? I'm sick of men that I don't like liking me. Stop liking me. Like, I want the men that I like to like me. Like, I want the men that don't know I exist to like me. Why can't I have that? Why? When is it my turn? That's why I be saying to God sometimes. And he's like, I think he was just showing me like, babes, look, they don't know you. You're not in LA. Like, you know, these social media people don't know you exist. So it's just like, until they know. Like, I feel like if they knew me, but I'm like, if they knew me, would they want me? I don't know. And sometimes I'll send pictures of to my friends, and I'm like, if you thought if he knew me, you think I have a chance? And she's like, yeah, of course you would. Not saying like, yeah, of course you would, but like, she's like, duh, of course you would. Like, you're hot. And I'm like, but like, would he think that though? Anyway, what was I saying? I was saying something. I was talking about Scott and his men's behavior of dating women. Yeah, so that was sick and twisted. So let's move on because I've been talking about this for a long time. So yeah. So now we're gonna get into now. This is when I was the whole dating thing. I was like, ew, icky, and gross for the fact that he said he didn't want to date women that would challenge him. And then the only thing that I was kind of like, now here's my thing. I'm not saying it's women's responsibility to like to to teach men to like have some respect for women. However, I feel like whenever you have guy friends that actively make statements like that, where they don't like to date a woman that challenges them, or they like to date significantly younger women, and you are around as a woman and you are not saying something about it, I'm ficky about you. Because I'm like, why are you not speaking your mind about that? That's a bit weird in my opinion. Because when I saw Chloe sitting there and letting him speak and not saying anything, I was like, girl, why are you not fazed by what he just said? Now, here's the thing. She could have, and they just didn't put it in. That's the case, and that's fair. But in her confessional, she didn't show her, like, disagreement with it. So it's kind of just like, so you okay with him dating 19-year-olds at the age of 36? Because she was like, at least 21. Babes, he's 40. He should be dating 35-year-olds and up. Maybe a 32-year-old. Like, babes, he's 40. 20 years later, down the road, he is closer to being a senior citizen than graduating college. Why is he dating people that are coming out of college? You are closer and closer each day to senior citizenship and collecting a social security check. Why are you dating people that are coming out of college and trying to figure out what to do with their career when you are closer to a nursing home? I don't understand. Act your age. That's to all the older men dating young women. Why are you dating young women? And you know what's crazy about this recollection and this mindset? The way how just the concept of men dating younger women, because I actually can't say that because that will be exposing some people in my personal life. They do watch my videos, so I can't say it. But like, I was hearing some stuff, and I was like, oh, you're nasty. Y'all are nasty. Like, yo, it's it's crazy when you be like, you have recollections of like how people act in real life, and to find out that you have people like in your inner circle behaving the same way, and you're like, you're one of those people. You're nasty. You're gross. And it's always men. It's always men. Now here's the thing. There's some women, like, family's family. Family have their ups and downs, and they have their secrets in there. I'm just like, y'all are gross. That's all I gotta say. Anyway, this is when I started to get really pissed off with Scott. When he found out that Courtney got engaged. Oh my, I have never seen on public television. Oh, I moved the camera. I'm so sorry, y'all. I have never seen such a bigger baby on reality TV. That's saying nothing because I've watched no reality TV. I have never seen a man act like such a freaking baby until Scott Disick and those episodes of the first season. Oh my gosh. The man child was having a tantrum every single episode he was in after that. Oh my gosh. Like, I was like, babes, you're how old? He's probably was like 38, 37 when this was out. When like they were filming this. You that old acting that. You know what? Here's the thing about like, I just feel like you're just too old to be acting like that. But also I feel like a lot of adults, I'm like, y'all too old to be acting like that. You closer to, I be wanting to tell people you you pushing senior citizen age and you acting like that. You too old to be acting like that. Or if they are a senior citizen, I'm like, you go back to your nursing home, because why are you acting like that? You are too old. You are closer to the grave than you are to being a hip youngster. Stop acting like that. Stop acting like a 2-year-old having a temperature because your diaper hasn't been changed yet. Go get a life. Go get a life, get a hobby, get a job, get a career, get something. Do something besides bickering and bantering with everyone about your ex moving on to someone better. Like, yo, the man was a menace to everyone's society for the rest of the season after Kourtney got engaged to Travis. Because why? Because ever since, because then this is when he was realizing that the dynamic of his relationship with the family would be different because of Travis being now going to be Kourtney's husband. Because he's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my best friend. I'm going to lose my family. Like, I'm going to have nobody now. And every single time, like with the engagement, when they got engaged, he was like texting. I think like he texted Chloe or something, was like, I'm going to lose the family. Like, you guys are going to leave me. Like, I'm not going to have you guys anymore, blah, blah. And I could understand him being upset and sad to some degree. Like, oh, like, man, like, life's going to be tough. Like, things are going to change. Like, you know, like, because, you know, when you mess up and you realize that it's your own fault that you messed up. So now seeing that your life has been completely changed because of your own screw up, that's got to be a tough pill to swallow, which I understand that concept of being bummed out about it. However, that does not excuse the behavior he was having when every time he was on screen, he was bickering and being a little itch about not being invited to family events. Like, why was he salty with Kendall because he wasn't invited to her birthday dinner when she literally said, I didn't invite you because I didn't want Kourtney uncomfortable. You know, the ex that you mistreated in your relationship that you were dating for 10 years and broken up with 7 years ago. You know, the one that's my literal blood sister. You know, the girl that like we share the same mom. You know, her, my family. I didn't want my family uncomfortable with her ex-boyfriend. And also, mind you, they were never married. Kourtney never got married to Scott. And also, the amount of times that Kourtney said that she never wanted to get married until she met Scott. I mean, whoa. That's not what she said. Until she met Travis. She said it so many times, you would have thought each time she was saying it as a diss to Scott, which I doubt she was doing that. But like, she literally was like, I never wanted to get married until I met Travis. Until I was with Travis. When I was with Travis, then I imagined what it was like to have a wedding. When she was with, she never wanted. So that means when she was with Scott for them 10 years, having kids with him and everything, she never wanted to get married. She was dealing with his mess for 10 years without a ring on her finger. You mean to sit here and tell me that you put her through all that and didn't even have the decency to put a ring on her finger? And then you acting like a baby when someone does it and she's okay with it because she actually wants to be with them. They were only dating for like a year and 4 months and they were getting married, but like they knew each other for like 8 years before then? Like they were friends for 8 years and then they got together. So, like, that makes sense because, like, when you know someone for all the time, you know, I feel like getting married after a year is not. And also, they're, like, both in their 40s, so, like, it makes sense. Like, the older you get, the less time you need to, like, take to marry someone. So, it makes sense that they got married after, like, a year. You know, that's fine. But every single time. And it's like she literally said that she didn't want Kourtney feeling uncomfortable. That's why Kendall didn't invite him. And he was like, oh, but when it was my birthday, I would have invited you. Oh, the fact that you didn't invite me. Oh, so what? I'm not going to be invited to anything anymore. Oh, why doesn't anyone invite me anywhere? Oh, why is everyone not talking to me? Oh, and I was like, Scott, if you don't, I wanted to slap him through the screen so bad. Like, I literally was like, Scott, if you don't get your man-child behind out and go home and take a power nap, because clearly, I don't know if it's because you having a 2-year-old temper tantrum or you think you're in a nursing home and you need a feeding. Because why are you at your big age of 36, 37, however old you were in this first season of the show, acting like that because your ex, the one you mistreated, is moving on. And you're not going to get invited to events. And then on top of that, then when he's talking to Chris about it, the mother, you know, the iconic grandmother, when she's having like a birthday dinner and she invites him to lunch and he's like, this is your birthday lunch? And he's like, yeah, this is my birthday lunch. She's like, no, this is not. Like, knowing you would have a whole party. Like, what are you doing? Are you doing something tonight? And she was like, well, I'm kind of having a thing. It's not that big of a deal. And then she goes into details about how it's like an actual birthday dinner. Everyone's invited but him. He's like, oh, you're singling me out. Oh, I thought you were my mother. Oh, I thought you said that I was like your son after my parents died. And, oh, so what? You're just going to leave me? Oh, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, Scott. It's like, no, that's not. Mind you, You have the audacity. Hold on. You legit have the audacity to sit here and yell at this woman who took the time out of her day to invite you to a separate birthday lunch because she cares about you like a son, which she shouldn't, to be completely honest, after the way. And anyway, she really treats you like a son. After 10 years of you mistreating her firstborn child, mind you. Courtney's the oldest. Older siblings rise up because we be going through it for real. Anyway, she's the oldest. That's her firstborn child. And she is like, firstborn child special, that's your firstborn. You always have some special, love for your firstborn, whatever. And then she knows what you put her daughter through, and she's still keeping a relationship with you. That's a blessing in itself. 1, 2, she knew that you being there with Courtney and Travis, she was like, I don't know if he's ready to be around them like that, so let me invite him to a separate lunch so that way I can still spend time with him for my birthday. She was thinking about you this entire time, and you're gonna sit here and come to her and yell at her in public at a restaurant because you're being left out of a family event, when this whole time the reason why you're there in the first place is because she was thinking about you and she wanted to still spend time with you. I was thinking in my head, Kris Jenner, if you don't get up and discipline this man, this child, because this is your son, right? Tell him to knock it off. Because in your confessional, you admitted that, he's emotional and he's just like, he's just upset about it, but he needs to get his emotions together. Say that to his face. I'm sick of men acting like that and no one says it to their face. Sick and twisted and disgusting. It pisses me off. That's why I live my motto of just, you gotta humble people in general. Men, women, whoever it is. Humble them when needed. Because if you don't, that's gonna happen. Scotts are gonna happen. Scotts appear in the world. And some of them are worse. Like, I was just there sick and disgusted. I was like, there's no way you're yelling at her because you're not invited to her birthday dinner, when she took the time to invite you to lunch because she wanted to hang out with you still. And my thing is, everyone's talking about how they don't want to invite him, 1, because they don't know how he'll feel about seeing Courtney and Travis, because every time they're together, they're always making out half the time they're there. 1, 2, they don't want to make Courtney uncomfortable. You are not understanding that you are the reason for that consequence. It's your fault that you're not being invited to these events because you mistreated Courtney. You lost her trust. You are the reason why y'all broke up. I'm pretty sure Courtney had her faults in the relationship too, but at the end of the day, even in your first 2 confessionals, you said it yourself how you mistreated Courtney and you're happy that she's happy. And when I tell you, everybody, when they're talking about Courtney with Travis, we're saying how she's so happy. I've never seen her this happy before. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that she's with someone that's giving her the love that she deserves. She deserves to be happy. And she's talking about how she's living in a fairy tale. She's so happy. This and that. She is so happy with her life, as she should be. And this man is trying to tear it apart by having a hissy fit with everyone in her family. So because you can't stay connected with Courtney as much as you used to, you're going to make everyone around her suffer so they can go to her and be like, Courtney, you have to talk to Scott because he's annoying us. And so that way she could talk to you. Because that's exactly what they were doing. He was yelling at Kris, at Kendall, at Chloe, not really at Kim. I didn't really see him do it to Kim. But he was doing it enough to where he was making, Kendall, literally after Kendall and Scott got into their argument, she went to Courtney's house and told her what happened. And while Chloe telling Courtney she needs to talk to Scott. And she was like, I don't though. And I was like, no, she don't. You absolutely correct, ma'am. No, you don't have to talk to your ex because why? For what? Why is it her responsibility to control his behavior? First of all, y'all all talking about how he's like my brother, he's like my best friend. And that's your brother, that's your best friend. Tell him to stop acting like that. Tell him to get it together. Tell him that I understand you're going through your emotions and what you're going through must suck. But at the end of the day, you mistreated Courtney. You mistreated my sister. And the fact that I choose to still have a relationship with you after everything you did to her, that's a blessing in itself. 1, 2, you had to own up to the fact that she is moving on with someone that is treating her better than you ever treated her. Move on with that. That's a tough pill to swallow, but if you can't witness it, then you don't need to be around us much, because we are not going to keep doing this where every time you come to see us or we come to see you, you're going to be talking about, oh, am I invited to what about Thanksgiving? Oh, should I expect not to be invited? Yeah, keep acting like that. You won't be invited. You will never see me again. Keep acting like that. Go ahead, keep acting like that and see when the next time you see me. You'll get a Christmas card of a picture of me. That's the next time you'll see me. Because why are you acting like that at your grown age? Sick and twisted. And they were trying to make it to be like, Courtney has to talk to him. And then in his confessional, then he want to start being like, oh, well, actually, I'm happy that like her and Travis are together, because now, as selfish of me to say, she's kind of a lot to handle. And like, I feel like, Courtney's great and all, but she's not the greatest person ever. So, it's like, I kind of feel like it's a relief and a weight lifted off my shoulders, because now I don't have to deal with her anymore. Oh my gosh. And I feel so mean doing this, but it just irritated me so much, because it's just like, and Chloe, her confession was like, see, now I know he's just making us up, because there's no reason for him to be saying any of that. But you ain't say it to his face. Chloe, babes, that's your best friend? Talk to him like one. Because I feel like that's your best friend until he annoys you and then he's Courtney's problem. No, babes, no. You see? And I feel like the thing with that is that it's just some people sometimes don't know how to do confrontations because they're uncomfortable. I get it. But I feel like if that's your real friend, you have to learn how to have uncomfortable conversations and be able to like handle it. You know what I mean? Because I feel like if it's from your best friend, like there have been times where like, I had uncomfortable conversations with my best friends and it only made our relationship stronger. And like, I think like recently, like there was a situation where like I had to tell my friend, I had to set a boundary for myself, because I realized that like there was a situation where we were it wasn't anything between us. It was about something that happened that affected the both of us. And I was like, I had to set a boundary, because if I don't do it now, I'm going to become an ugly person and that's going to affect how I treat you. And I don't want that. So to avoid that, I'm going to leave this specific, I'm going to have you not do this anymore. And again, it was nothing that she did. It wasn't anything that she did. It was more of who she was around. That I was like, me personally, I cannot deal with that. So like, you can deal like that. This is your life, so you deal with it, but just leave me out of it. And she was like, I respect that 100%. Have those conversations. I feel like some people just don't know how to have those awkward conversations, or like those like genuinely serious conversations of like, yo, dude, you gotta like get it together. You gotta pull yourself together, because you can't be doing this. You can't be doing this. So I feel like they just didn't know how, to like really have those conversations. Like they'll say it in their confessionals, but won't say it to Scott. And I'm like, say it to the man's face, because this is the reason why he's acting like that, because no one's telling him that what he's doing is wrong. And then even when he was arguing with Kendall, because she said, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I should have invited you. I was like, no, you shouldn't have. What are you apologizing for? Kendall, babes, what are you apologizing for? You said it that you didn't invite him to your birthday dinner because you didn't want to make Courtney uncomfortable. That is a valid reason. You should not have to apologize for making sure that your sister was comfortable for your birthday. That is nothing to apologize for. It's his fault that he makes her uncomfortable, that you would think that him being around her would make her uncomfortable. And also, it's kind of witness, because with the whole SNL thing with Kim, when Scott was invited, Courtney didn't want to go. She's like, oh, because I just don't want to go with Scott there and everything. And she's like, oh, I feel bad now. I wish I could uninvite him. But she's like, no, that would be rude. Because Courtney could literally been like, uninvite him since just tell him not to go anymore. Just tell him not to go so I can go. She could have been mean. She could have been rude. She could have been spiteful. She could have been an itch about it, but she wasn't. She was a mature woman, because she's happy and she's better and she's happy with Travis and she is in a healthy, good relationship. And Scott just can't take it. And it's the reason why I'm really mad at Scott it's because it's sick, but it's like the concept behind it, because this is so common for men to do to women. Men they'll get in a relationship with some women, treat them like dog. Treat them like a dog. Treat them like trash. For years, for months, years, however long. Then the woman finally manages courage to leave them. Then they get in a relationship and they're happy. They're moving on with their life. And that man is just not, they can't take it. Oh, they're beg, oh, please, please take me back. Take me back, please. I'm begging you. Take me back. Take me back. Oh, please. I want to start a family. I want to be married. I want to have a kid with you. I love you. I messed up. And then the woman takes them back after some time. Like, he's changed. He's different. He matured. He's in therapy. He's good now. And then they do them dirty again. Women, if we don't stand up for ourselves, no one will. No one will. Stand up. As I'm sitting down. Stand up. I am sick of women being mistreated. And a prime example of this is Chloe and Tristan, which again, I won't get into this episode. Chloe deserved better. Chloe deserved better. Because Chloe did not deserve the dog pile that Tristan put her through. And then it's crazy because in episode 8, Chloe and Kim, like, they were like working out and they were like talking about Scott, about how like, oh, or like, what we gonna do about Scott? Because every time we see him, he's just constantly complaining about him not being invited to things anymore. Him be like, oh, am I gonna be invited? Am I gonna be invited? No, you're banned for 6 months. How about that? Like, how about you learn some freaking, oh, I can't with that man. Anyway, and they were like, oh my goodness, do we baby all the men in our lives? Yo, when I tell you I was screaming at the screen, I was like, yes, y'all do. Yes, y'all do. Stop it. Y'all keep treating these men like babies. It's like, oh, we like nurture them and feed them. Like you would think all the men in their lives have mommy issues. I'm shaking like as if I'm an elderly woman shaking from freaking menopause or something. I'm like, this is why I'm single, kind of, partially. Part choice, part just, it's kind of a choice because here's the thing. If I really wanted a relationship, I would be in one right now. Like, literally, I have, like, the way how I have one of my exes at the palm of my hands is kind of crazy. That sounds really bad. That sounds mean. But, like, it's kind of true. And he said it himself. He literally said it himself. But anyway, like, if I really wanted a relationship with just anybody, I would be in one right now. I literally, like, it's so easy to be in a relationship. It's so easy. But, like, I want a man that I'm attracted to. A man that I don't have a past with that did me dirty in the past. Because newsflash, I doubt he's watching this. But hey, the reason why I'm never going out with you is because that sounds like a threat. I'm going to keep going. But yeah, like, it was just like, what was I going with that? I was talking about, I said that for a reason. Oh yeah, this is what, like, they just seen the way how, like, it's just so common. And the thing that's crazy is that, like I said, the timing with everything. Me watching the Kardashians and being mistreated by men. Me having my friend that's in situations where, like, men are just like, I love you, bestie. I love you. We've always had this conversation, though. That's the thing. I've already talked to her about. So, like, nothing that I say in this video will be news. I'm not going to say her drama. I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not going to say that, you know. I'm not going to expose her. And that for what? But, like, just the situation that she is in because of men. I'm like, let me at him. Let me at him. Give me your phone. Let me go to that place. I will put them in their place in a second. In a blink of an eye. They will never bother you again. Babes, just trust me. Just give me. I'm like literally the way how men, like, beg for a second chance with women. That's how I am with my friends. When, like, a man is giving them problems, I'm like, please just let me send a text. Please let me humble them. Please, just let me do it this one time. They won't bother you again. Please. I'm shaking in my boots. I'm over here like, please, let me humble them, please. Because it's just so, I'm like, the way, you know how some girls be wearing that shirt that says dump him? I feel like I would have a shirt that says, like, dump him, block him, delete him. Because the way how I be so quick, ever since like high school, when my friends would be like, oh, what do I do? Block him, delete his number, delete his social media. Oh, but, like, that's mean. I don't want to delete his media. I feel bad. That's so mean. I don't want to be mean. Girl, if you don't give me your phone, I'm going to snatch your phone out your hand to delete them for you. So I'd be like, Give me the phone. I'll do it myself. Oh no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be mean to them. Meanwhile, these men treat them like hot garbage. 1. 2, they're not worth their time. 3, they barely know the people. They barely know these men. Back then it was boys. Now it's just, you barely know these men. And you want to be like, I'm going to be mean to him. I'll feel bad if I block his number and he wonders why. I love y'all. Don't think that I'm like doing this to like bully y'all. But at the end of the day, here's the thing. The way how I literally would tell them, if you don't get up, if you don't get your dumb self up and stand up for yourself and be the woman that I know you are, I'm sick of you letting these men treat you like this. You deserve more. You are a queen. Come on. You need to learn how to let these men respect you. And if they can respect you, to leave. I be telling this all the time. So seeing it in show, I was just like, this is too much. This is too much for me to. I'm just sick of seeing men do this to women. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick. I'm sick. I'm sick to my stomach. Anyway, so yeah. So that's why I was really pissed. I was mad at what Scott was representing and just showing how, like, just, like, Courtney was just living her life. And she's like, I don't need to talk to him. And you know what the craziest thing is? Scott had all this to say about not being invited to family events and about Courtney. But then when it came to having phone calls with her, he did mention how he wished the kids would have been invited to the engagement thing. That was something he did say to her on the phone. But then she was like, I talked to him on the phone and he said congratulations to us getting engaged, and then how he expressed his opinion about about him wanting the kids be there, which I said I agree. Like, I did wish they were there. But also, here's my thing. Everyone that talked to Scott about it, he was like, why were my kids invited? Because he was talking about that with Chloe. Never once did she mention, we all felt like because of the age of your kids, it wouldn't have been appropriate for them to be there because they might not have been able to understand, and like having a talk to them about it would have been better. No one said that. No one said that. Because when they were at the engagement party talking about it, they mentioned they all were in agreement how the kids not being there was better, so that way they can have a conversation. She can have a conversation with her kids about the engagement. They all said that. But then when she went to Scott's house to see how he was feeling and he was talking about it, she didn't mention it then? Babes, I'm like, girl, you could be defending your sister right now and you are choosing not to. Or maybe it just didn't click on her head to say, or maybe she felt like Courtney should have said it. Fine. But it's just like, y'all have all this to say about Scott, but you're not saying it to his face. Buck up and say it to his face. Like, oh my God. So now here's my thing. I also feel like because Chloe had a past with constantly arguing with Scott, I feel like maybe that's why she doesn't say as much anymore. Because again, I don't know the lore of the previous show they had. So maybe she would always confront him in the past. And maybe that's why now she's not as much anymore. So if that's the case in Chloe's situation, I can understand. Everyone else though, what's your excuse? Unless it's the same situation, I don't know. Again, I don't know from the previous show. Now my thing is this. I just now found out today because I saw someone talking about a TikTok about the new season, about the beef with Kim and Courtney, about like, you know, the whole thing. Because my thing was, I was like, I don't know what Scott did to Kim. Courtney. I don't know what Scott did to Courtney, but it must have been bad enough to where there's certain times where she doesn't want to be around him. It must have been bad, but I had no idea. I did not. Then I found out a little bit from the TikTok that the girl made today that I watched. And I was just like, so y'all mean to sit here and tell me y'all saw him do, because I was like, I don't know what he did, but they all do. So I'm like, okay, it must not be that bad for them to still be like, he's family. Then I found out what he did. Not to the full degree. I just heard like three main things. And I was like, so you mean to sit here and tell me he put her through all that. Moments where he is high as a kite, acting a fool, while Courtney's pregnant, asking people for help to help her deal with him. He had abuse problems. And on top of that, he cheated on her multiple times, or like one time. You mean to sit here and tell me that man cheated on your sister and had all those problems and made her go through all that, and y'all still want to associate with that man? I literally was baffled. I was like, it's baffling to me Simply just because the way how, first of all, I'm so quick to drop someone the minute I found any ounce of disrespect coming from them. I've had examples of in my past where like I talked to people and like it didn't go well. Like I have, it's just like I literally had situations where like, you know, the minute I found ounces of respect, boop, delete. I'm talking to someone, they're being too sexual, boop, delete. Like it's so freeing. The best thing you can do is delete their number, block them, delete them, get dump, block, delete. Do it. Dump them. Block them on social media. Delete their number. Block the phone number if you need to. It's so freeing. You don't have to deal with them anymore. And then when you're desperate and you want to fall back, you can't because you don't have their number. I mean, you could probably follow them to social media, but it'll be a little bit more harder to do. And then you'll realize in the act, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. It's so freeing. It's so great. Because when people want to be besties with their exes, when you're in a situation where like you were in love with each other and you have a deep history and it ended on bad terms, mind you. If it ended on good terms, that's different. But a relationship that ended on bad terms and you want to be besties, girl, if you don't get up, like I'm sick of it. So yeah, so then I found out that they knew. I was like, wow, so you want to sit here and tell me y'all knew he did all that and y'all still talking to him? That's your brother, that's your bestie? After everything he put Courtney through? I'm not judging them for that. It's just like, I just cannot believe when women do stuff like that. It puts me in a state of shock. I'm just shocked. I'm like, so you mean to sit here and tell me y'all knew he did all that to her and y'all still talking to him? Still wanting to invite him to family functions because he doesn't have a family? Like, I mean, I get it, but like, that's not your responsibility to keep having him in your family after what he did to your sister. Like, respectfully, and Courtney keeps him at a distance because they have kids together, so she's being a good co-parent. She's making sure that they have, you know, she respects him with the kids around, and also, you know, just as a person, co-parenting, she keeps him at arm's length. Y'all the ones want to have a personal relationship with him, treat him like a brother, treat him like a bestie. Y'all deal with him when he acts out of character. Because I also feel like the way he was acting could kind of show a glimpse of what he was doing in their relationship. And he's doing that to y'all, and y'all not even dating. Imagine what he did to Courtney behind closed doors. You know what I mean? I was like, wow. Because my thing was, everyone was talking about how bad Tristan treated Chloe, and like some of them I guess were ready to like not talk to him anymore, except for Chris, which I don't understand why she does that. Like, she still kikis with them after knowing. I'm like, girl, these men treat your dogs like hot garbage, and you're still texting them like as if they did nothing wrong. Chris, what you doing, girl? Grandma, if you don't delete their numbers, do I have to delete them for you? Because why are you talking to them like as if they're your friends? They treat your daughters like trash and you still kikiing with them? Like as if nothing happened? That's weird. It's just weird to me. It's just weird to me. I'm not like, oh, you're like, I'm not saying that about them, even though like I'm kind of doing that. I'm not saying they're bad people for doing that, but it's just, I personally could not do that. Like, I've never done that, and I could never do that. Because the minute someone disrespects me, out of my life. The minute someone disrespects my friend, oh, it's on sight for you. I'm fighting you for them. Oh yeah, I've done it again. I've done this. Anytime I felt my friends would be disrespected, I have snapbacks. I lose respect for people. I'm quick to get at people. I'm quick to show you that you will feel my wrath because you hurt my friend. Like, you know how they have those memes where like you have there's two girl best friends, and then they break up with someone, but then they get back together, and that your girlfriend will forgive you, but their best friend won't. That's me. I'm the best friend that will literally be like, you don't deserve her. She deserves better. She deserves someone that will treat her with some respect, some kindness, some dignity. You are scum. I won't say they're scum, but I'll be looking at them like, I don't like you. I just want to let you know I don't like you because you mistreated my bestie. You mistreated my friend. And if you mistreated my friend, you mistreated me, and you're on thin ice, buddy. You're on thin ice. You're on thin ice. Treat my friend like that one more time, and let's see if you end up waking up in the hospital, or if you're just 6 feet under. See what happens. See what happens. Go ahead. Try it. I dare you. I dare you to try it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Test me. See what happened. I may be only 5'7", but I got the hands of a man. I will fight you. I don't care if you're 6'5", 6'7". I don't care if you're over 180 pounds. I don't care if you're bigger than me, taller than me. I don't care. I will show you that I will put up a fight. Because if my friend won't do it, I'll do it for them. I'll do it for them. Like, that's the type of energy that I have, because I'm very protective over the people that I care about. So my friends are being mistreated. You best believe I'm letting them people know that they can't do that again, because now I'm around. So I just find it weird when people don't have that same energy. I'm just like, that's weird to me. It's just weird to me. I think it's also because of my parents, because they're very protective over us, but also just the way how they are with other people. I feel like I just grown up with that natural energy. Like, I literally was talking to my mom the other day about this, about how I feel like it's in my blood to, like, not tolerate anyone's BS. Like, you know what I mean? So I was like, I feel like it's in my blood, because I feel like literally from just watching YouTube, you know? So yeah, my battery's dying, so I'm gonna stop talking. Concluding thoughts. I basically talked about everything. No one's telling him to get his act together. They're saying the confessionals, but not to his face. Yeah. Final thoughts about Scott. He has a sad life, but part of it is his fault. His dating morals are gross to me. He's a good dad for his kids, but a terrible partner, and sometimes a person when he can't get his way. His response to Courtney's engagement shows a lot more of his character and possibly how he treated Courtney in their relationship. He doesn't understand that his bad behavior in his relationship with Courtney has consequences that will continue to alter his life. And then he needs to get it together and find his own happiness so he can stop depending on the Kardashians to give it to him. Those are my concluding thoughts. Now, to end this episode on like a little happy note about the first season, when I was watching it, I was like, oh my gosh, like what I did like about the show was Chloe and Courtney are hilarious. They are funny. There's so many instances where I was really cackling about how funny they were. I was like, yo, these girls are funny. They are funny. When Kim was about to be on SNL and it was like, oh, she could be funny. She's related to us, so she has potential. I was like, yo, y'all are funny. And Chloe's just demeanor with Chris sometimes. Like when Chris would talk about like, oh, back when I was a flight attendant, she's like, hold on. Let me just look for the energy to care. I was like, Chloe. Chloe, stop. It's funny. Chloe's funny. Whenever she's just like, yeah. I was talking about how hilarious Chloe is because she'll literally be so nonchalant with her mom. It's literally the funniest thing ever. Like, I find it so hilarious. Next, Chris is such a fun and cute grandma. Like, Chris reminds me of those women, the like elderly women that you see in like nursing homes that are like so hip and fun and funky. They're just like, oh, like they'll be like, you'll see them like eating at like a restaurant, or like you see them at like a, like you just see like, you know how you see videos of like old people just being like so nice and cute and just being like, look, I'm still hip, I'm still fun. That's what Chris gives. Chris gives us the energy. She's like, I'm Kris Jenner. I'm like, yes, you are, girl. You are Kris Jenner. And just seeing the way how much they love their mom, I think it's just also so cute because it's like, we love our mom. Like, you know, we get everything from our mom. Our inspo was our mother. I just wiped away something. Whatever. I just love Chris. She's just so funny. And Corey, Chris's boyfriend. Yo, Corey just be chilling the cut. He just be popping in. He'd be like, hey, like he'd just be there. Like you'll see Chris and then sometimes he'll just be there. Like he'd be chilling, vibing, and he's living his best life as he should. Like I don't know how they got together, like what he was like the head of security for her or something, I don't know, but they just be vibing and they look happy together. I'm like, you go ahead, get your man Chris. Corey just be chilling. And I feel again, because it's a black man, I'm like, he just chilling in their world. He is the only man. Well, besides Travis. Him and Travis are the only men in the Kardashians world that have not mistreated them. And I'm like, y'all are good examples. Why can't everyone else that these women date be that civil? Like, Jesus Lord. Yeah, Corey just be chilling. And I'm like, you do you, man. You do you. What else did I say? The show had more funny moments than I was expecting. Because I was at first going to make this episode be about how, like, the Kardashians reality show is actually a comedy because of how funny it is. And I was going to talk about how, like, the show was so funny. Like, Courtney and Chloe, there are so many times where they were just speaking. And I was like, yo, y'all are funny. Like, y'all are really hilarious. Like, they were too funny. But then Scott pissed me off every single episode he was in after the whole Courtney marriage thing. And I was like, okay, now I'm going to talk about you because you're just a menace to society. Like, why are you behaving this way at your big age of 37 or however old you were when the show was going on? Also, the last one I put was like Kim and Chloe realizing they baby men in their family when talking about Scott being annoying. I was just like, I'm so glad you at least comes to the realization that y'all are just babying men that are around you. Like, y'all let them, like, it's one thing to, like, you know, have something happen and then, like, you know, have, like, compromises or just, like, you know, like, deal with some things with men, but it feels like the men will take an inch and then they got away with that inch, so they take miles, and you keep forgiving them for the miles they're taking. Now, you can forgive someone, but that doesn't mean you have to date them again and again and again, or still be, like, you know, it doesn't mean you have to be in a relationship with them. You can be cordial with them, because most of the time the reason why they be cordial with their partners is because they have kids together, like with Kim and Kanye, with Chloe and Tristan, with Scott and Courtney. Like, they treat the men civil because they have kids together. But it's just like, you can be civil with them but not have to date them. When I tell you, I was watching the end of season 1 and I watched a snippet of the season 2, because again, I was like, I was gonna make this episode about Scott and Tristan, but there was so much to say about Scott. I was like, Tristan needs his own episode. And then to find out that the way how Tristan treated Chloe was really jacked up. Like, the way how he didn't cheat on her not once but twice. He cheated on her 2 times. And both times she found out about the cheating, she was bringing another baby into their relationship. Both times. The first time she found out, it was days before she gave birth to their first kid. The second time she found out, it was days after they did, like, the whole embryo transfer for the surrogate. But then the thing is that at the end of season 1, we didn't even know that happened. We just knew that, like, he cheated on her again. And then why Kim goes, oh, if this ain't a sign to not have a baby with him, I don't know what is. And in season 2, the first episode, the first few minutes, she goes, oh, we already were having a kid. I was like, Chloe. I had to stop. Mind you, it was like 3 a.m. at this point. But I was like watching the second. I was like, let me just see what the first episode's about. And then I watched the first few minutes. When she said that she was having another kid with Tristan, I literally stopped the episode and I went to bed. I'm not kidding. I stopped the episode, closed my laptop. I was like, that's enough. That's enough for one day. That's enough. I'll watch it again tomorrow. Because Chloe. And I felt so bad for her. Because and this is the part where, like, watching reality TV really settles in for me, that, like, this happens. Like, this happening in a TV show, that's drama. That's a good plot. This happening in real life, it's not fun. It's not cute. It's just sad. And I was just like, Chloe, I feel so, because I'm like, I cannot imagine one of my friends going through something like that and having to just be supportive. You know what I mean? Like, she was so sad about it. Like, she didn't even, like, not that she didn't want to celebrate the baby, but, like, the whole concept and the journey with the pregnancy wasn't as good because of what he did to her. And how, like, it's the way how both times children were being brought into the relationship, she finds out that he's cheating. And then the thing is that, like, he literally was, like, trying to marry her, make a down payment to her house, and kept talking about how, like, oh, I can't wait till you trust me more so that we can get married, have kids, then a family, God willing. If you don't get God on your mouth, you're nasty. Can't even keep it in your pants. You won't talk about Jesus. You know, if God was here, he'd be like, boy, if you don't keep it in your pants, you can't keep it in your pants for one day. You already with a girl. You already better have it. Yo, that whole situation with the suing of the other chick having a child with him and suing him for it, that was nasty. That was crazy. Because how you, it's just like, that man knew he was being sued by another woman for getting her pregnant. And he didn't tell Chloe a single thing. And the way how she finds out about him cheating is through social media. Both times. This man didn't have the decency to tell her. She didn't catch him in the act. It was, she found out on social media. How embarrassing is it to be in a relationship and thinking everything's fine, and you find out through social media that you're being cheated on? I just felt so bad. I was like, if this was a TV show, this would be great. But this is real life, and this is just sad. I just felt so bad for her. I was like, Chloe, this is so unfortunate. I'm so, like, I wanted to like write her a letter saying, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. Like, that's so, like, I cannot imagine seeing my friends go through something like that. Like, I felt so bad. I wanted to give her a hug. I was like, Chloe, you do not deserve this. You deserve better. Sick, disgusting, twisted. But yeah, that's it. Men. But here's the thing. Women do it too in some situations. Like, I know a personal experience of like women not doing the best in the relationship and them actually being very toxic and gross, and I'm just like, you're kind of crazy for that one. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about men. I'm talking about in this situation, in this circumstance, it's about the men. Because when women do it, it's more like, it's easier to grade them about that. But then when the man do it, they just a player. They just playing the game. No, they're just being a skank and don't know how to keep it in their pants. Because they have the maturity of a 2-year-old. Having temper tantrums like Scott and can't keep it in their pants like a 16-year-old boy like Tristan. Anyway, I digress. Stop behaving this way. Keep it in your pants. If we need to go back to the Victorian times or whatever time it was where women had to wear chastity belts, but this time put it on the men, do what you gotta do. Like, just keep it in your pants. Like, you know what's free? Keeping it in your pants. Not a condom at the doctor's appointment. Keeping it in your pants is free $99. It is so easy to just zip it up and go to the bathroom. Or just go home. Like, you had a whole girlfriend and you celebrate, and then to find out that he cheated on Chloe on his 30th birthday when she threw a party for him. There was a fly, just flew right by my ear. It's time for me to go. I can't. But yeah, the men in this show, the men they let enter into their lives, they're gross. Like, they're just gross. But anyway, that's it for today's episode. I've talked enough. This is just another example of women just having to deal with the audacity of men and just how crazy and chaotic and just ridiculous they are. Like, they're just so ridiculous. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed me ranting about men and about how annoyed I am with them and just the way how they function. I hope seeing me have like literal twitches about it give you entertainment. Now again, you're probably thinking, oh my goodness, you're such a man hater. I literally talked about how much I love Dominic Fike. If I was a man hater, I would not like Dominic Fike. Like, again, I literally said if he ever wanted to date me, he could. Like, he has a chance. A lot of social media people have a chance. They just don't know I exist yet. But also, here's my thing. You can't look at me in this video and think this is all you're getting. I can be hotter. Not to say I'm not already good looking, but like, I have the potential to do more. This is literally me on a Saturday morning with my hair messed up from the freaking rain, and I just I fixed the front pieces, but this piece is popping up again because, you know, black girls with black girls with curly hair, they don't. This happens all the time. But like, I can be a baddie. Give me like the day when I straightened my hair, the way how like I have a wolf cut, so like the curls were curling, my hair was looking good. It was looking good. If I had on a nice outfit and some makeup, girl, you would have thought I could have been a model. I could have been a model potential. But I choose to look like this in my videos. But I have the potential to look better. So just be aware of that. Look at my Instagram. I have pictures where I look more decent. Look at my Instagram. Anyway, yeah, so here's the thing. No skanks. No dusty, just men that just want sex, nothing, none of that. Because the amount of times that a man, even when they are cute, I'm not gonna get into it. Just do better. Keep it in your pants. It's free $99. So, in conclusion, men do better. Do not follow the roles of Scott and Tristan in this show. Be better, do better. And that's it. That's all I have to say. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I surely enjoyed filming it. You know, I always at first, like, my chest always hurts at first when I film these, and then I think I get so riled up I kind of forget about the pain, or the pain goes away, because right now it's kind of fine. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed me having this whole rant about men, because I love talking about men. I love talking about them because they're, you know why? Because they're just so easy to talk about. Like they are, like when they do bad, like it's easy to talk about them when they do good. Hello, I literally talked about once again about my obsession with John Krasinski, Matthew Gray Gubler, Dominic Fike. I could go on. Now, other social media influencers, I don't want to like spill my tea about them because I feel like if I ever meet them, they're gonna just think of me as a fan, and I don't want them to think of me as a fan because I would want to be their friend. I think I'm gonna I've been wanting to make this video where I talk about TikTokers that I want to be friends with, like influencers I want to be friends with part 2. Because I did a part 1 where I was talking about like YouTubers that I want to be friends with. So I want to do another video like that where I talk about like TikTokers, but also just other like other content creators too. Because I want to be friends with attractive guys because I need to learn how to be friends with guys again because I haven't been friends with guys in a while, and I want to learn how to be able to like handle talking to men because sometimes I get scared. I'm scared, you know. They just, I don't know, they just freak me out. Here's the thing, like I want the attention, but then when I get it, I'm just like freaking out about it. I'm like, who said this to happen? Like, wait, who, like on the phone, I can text perfectly fine. I'm a normal human being. The minute I am in person, I'm literally a deer in headlights. Like you have to be okay with that. You have to understand that that's just how I am in the first like maybe 6 months of us meeting. Okay, that's dramatic. Not the 6 months. Well, if it's a stranger, it depends on the situation. Like if it's just us being friends, give me a good year. Give me like the first 2 months. If I could hold a conversation with you on the phone, that means I like you. If I could talk to you on the phone, I mean texting. I don't mean phone calls. I can't stand phone calls. I could do them sometimes, but I can't stand them. Anyway, but if I can talk to you, if I can text you, I like you as a friend. And then if I don't talk to you, hello, if I don't talk to you in person as much, that's just me. It's just me. It's not you, it's me. But on the phone, if I could text you on the phone, we're cool. We're good. If I can't text you on the phone, that means I don't. But yeah, so I'm probably gonna make that video soon because I think it'll be fun to make. Yeah, so that's it. I'm done talking for real now. Every time I do that, I'll be like, okay, I'm done. Then I'll talk for like 20 more minutes. What did Renee say in that video? Yeah, that's literally it. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching my video. I feel like I let myself loose a little bit in this video, which, you know, why not, you know? And here's the thing. I do this in my videos. Like, I'll, like, act like this, and then in person, I'm like, hey, how y'all doing? And he'd be like, oh my gosh, your video was so funny. I'm like, thanks. Someone get me out of here. Like, that's like what I'm feeling like, and I'm like, thanks. And here's the thing, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to do that, like be like, oh, like I watched your video and it was really funny. It's not that I don't like that. Like I appreciate the fact that, like, you know, you're watching my videos, you find them funny, but like it's just like, listen, I'm not gonna explain my behaviors of how I act in person. I'm not gonna do it, but you get the idea, you get the point. But yeah, I feel like the reason why I find it hard to make new friends sometimes is that, like, when I'm in person, I'm so awkward. Like, it's embarrassing sometimes. And I'm just like, why can't I be normal? Like, why? Like, I know why, but I'm just like, oh, it's like exhausting sometimes. And it's just like, I try, I really do. It's just hard. It's just hard socializing and not being awkward and knowing how to small talk and like just being a human. It's hard. It's hard. It's not easy. I just like, I'm like, how do y'all do it? How do y'all talk to people that you don't know? Oh, you just find their common interest. How? Oh, you just like, let's say you just look at their outfit and then be like, oh, I like your shirt. And if they say, thanks. Then what? Like, someone could say, I like your outfit. Thanks. That's it. I'll respond like that. I'll have one-worded sentences, and that's it. And you would think that I didn't want to be bothered. But it's just like, I just don't know what to say. So I'm just like, thanks. Oh, thank you. Oh, haha. Ahaha. Thanks. Thank you so much. Ahaha. In my head, I'm like, they're still talking to me. What do I do? I don't know what to say. So. Sorry, I was looking at a text. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is just me. I'm just being myself. You know? I'm just not me about saying Ken Brock. I'm not doing that. If you want to follow the podcast Instagram, it's just at randomchatawananda. And if you want to follow my personal Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, it's just at Ananda Cash. It will be in the description box down below. And if you want to have any comments, if you have any opinions about the whole first season of the show, or like just your thoughts about women being treated like that with men, or men like in relationships, because again, like I said, I know women do it too sometimes. Like your concept of like, you know, men doing it to women do it to men, whatever other situations, concept of relationships when one person is so toxic and dirty and treats their partner grimy, and then when the partner finds someone else new, then they want to be nasty and, you know, acting the way that how, like, basically leave your comments about Scott's in the world and leave your comments about Tristan's in the world, basically, whether it's a man or a woman, whoever. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. And I'll see you guys in my next episode. Hopefully it won't be talking about men. Actually, well, my next one I'm going to film is going to be about a book. So it will be about men, but this will be about fictional characters. So now, be the grace, be the pass. Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye. You're still here. Okay. Bye.